Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, I'm Rio, and this is my 5th doll repaint video here on YouTube. Okay, first of all, a huge thank you for each and every one of you for showing love and helping this channel grow, because we have reached over 1K. And because of this, I want to celebrate with this special doll today. As you probably already saw from the thumbnail, I'm creating my own logo. A kitsune or a six-tailed fox. In blue, of course, because it's my favorite color. Okay, let's get started. The first step for me is always cutting the hair as short as possible and putting the doll in a weird yoga position inside of hot water so we can remove the head easier. I always leave them for around a minute. After popping the head off, we can try to get all of the hair out of the neck. And of course, all of this is optional. If you still like the hair, just keep it. I'm always using second-hand dolls, so the hair is quite dirty and damaged. And I also want to create a new character, of course. There was like a lot of glue going on in this doll head. There was literally more glue than hair. Now I'm removing the original face paint with 100% of Aceton. And as always, I want to shrink the head before customizing her, because the head is way bigger than the body and I don't really like that. And to achieve it, I am leaving the head in an Aceton water mixture for 2 days. Well, we have few body modifications to do. For this position I have in my mind for the fox lady. Her upper body is too long for the sitting position I need, because I need her upper body to bend forward just a little bit, and for that I have to remove a chunk of her belly part. I'm sorry. This looks so painful. And this is the position I am going for. I want her to sit in a very comfy position with her legs up, and I had to remove both legs below the knees for that as well. Here I am sanding the factory number because this part will be seen, and I'm using my nail files for that. And now we have to reattach the body parts all together. For that I'm just placing a wire inside of the body and fix it with some hot glue. With the help of some epoxy, I can fill the gap on the torso. With the help of some water, I'm smoothing out the transition so I don't have to sand a lot later on. And it's time for a boob job. They will be covered by clothes later on anyway, but I still want them to be there. One of them is slightly bigger, but who doesn't have that issue, right? I attached the legs with wires and hot glue and covered it with epoxy, of course. And the next day, after my epoxy is fully cured and dry, I can start sculpting the clothes. I actually wanted her to have a kimono, but guess what? My last repaint video was the geisha and she had a kimono as well. So I had to come up with something that looked like a modern kimono. So as you guys know, or you've seen in the intro, my logo is a six-tailed fox inspired by the kitsune from Japanese folklore. Kitsunes are mystical foxes known for their intelligence, shape-shifting abilities and connection to magic. And the number of the tails represent their wisdom and power, and the six-tailed Kitsune symbolizes growth, transformation, and creativity, qualities I want to embody in my work. You already know that I always loved Japanese culture, and this felt like a meaningful way to reflect that passion while connecting it to my creative journey. And if you've ever played League of Legends, you probably know Ari. She's a Kitsune as well, but I believe she has 9 tails. I didn't really play Ari back then, but I really liked her skins, especially the KDA skin that she had. That was nice. Anyway, this doll is exactly what I would imagine if my fox transformed into her human shape. And here I am supergluing the joints because I don't want her to move while I shape the clothes on her arms. And slowly I am adding up all the details on her skirt. This time I didn't wait for the parts to cure, so I had to be really careful not to touch everything like I always do. This time I had to use tools way more than my fingers because they were just way too big for those little and hidden parts. Is it just me, or why is it always so satisfying to open a new epoxy? But let's go back to the doll and our arm accessories that she is getting right now. Well, now you know how it works. Let me save you some time. Perfect. The only thing left that I want on my skirt is a cute ribbon. Let's create it. She already started to look super cool, but it's not done yet. The legs look a little too naked for my taste, so let's give them some more details. You already know that I love adding details. I cannot get enough. I guess I created something like leg warmers? Are they still a thing? I have no idea. And let's not forget the second leg. And with that, our clothes, for now, are done. Let's leave it to cure now. And our hat has shrinked enough for this project. Here is a little comparison. Not much, but good enough for me. And this time I'm going to attempt something that I never ever did before. Rerooting hair. Yarn hair, to be more precise. Here I was deciding if I should go for the brighter or darker blue. What do you think? All of my dolls that I created in this lifetime, only 4, had either black hair or white, so this time I went with the more vibrant color. The bright blue it is! I already cut the desired hair length I want, and I needed a lot of hair. And because the hat is a shrinked hat, it's way harder than a normal one, I had to re-poke all of the holes. Only the distance between the holes are way bigger because I want her to have this braid / rasta look, so I'm not going to separate the yarn. Okay, let me make this clear. This is not a tutorial or anything like that. I watched like 50 Reroot videos myself and I have literally no idea if I'm using the correct needle or not. But this worked out pretty well for me, so I just went with it. Only make sure that you have enough time and patience for this because this took so long. And although I had way fewer holes than an original hat. But I have to say, although this took few hours to do, it was so clean. I mean, no glue sticking on my fingers, no weird shapes on the head. And also the styling was way easier. I really enjoyed it a lot. After the reroot was done, I put some glue inside of the neck so the hair doesn't come off when I style or pull them somehow. They look so cool. I love my first reroot. The next day I'm drilling the hole where her 6 tails will be attached in future. And by the way, let's create them. So for the tails, I need 6 equal wires. And first I had to figure out how to connect them all together. And as you can see, there was literally no planning. I just twisted them and added every wire one by one. I secured the wires with some hot glue, and I also shaped the form as I wanted them. With the help of some hot glue and aluminium foil, I can give them the thickness I need. This has 2 advantages. 1, you can save your epoxy or air dry clay, whatever you are using. And 2, this will be not that heavy, and this is very crucial if this huge thing will be attached on her back. It can drag her down very quickly. Before adding the clay, I'm always making sure that the 6 tails are exactly how I need them to be. I'm trying to keep the clay layer very thin and also as smooth as possible, but either way, I have to sand everything later on anyway. Well, my fox lady here needed a companion, so I bought this fox silicone form from Amazon, and I'm using epoxy resin to bring him to life. This epoxy has a 1:1 ratio and cures in around 2 days, depending on how thick your figurine is. Mine always cure on the balcony. And after he's completely cured, I can take him out and let's check how he looks. It's literally amazing how detailed these silicone forms are. Just look at that hair. Wow. The fox was super nice, but he kinda did not fit on my wood stand, as you can see here. The body curve was too narrow, so we needed to fix that. And also the fact that he only had 1 tail. We needed to add 5 more. So I cut him in half and I made his body a bit longer with air dry clay. And because his body was longer and bigger, I needed to make his head and ears bigger as well. And let's not forget to add the 5 tails. And let's give him his details back that he already had before. And leave him to cure. And now he fits perfectly. Well, this step is pretty boring but very important. Let's sand every epoxy imperfections that our eyes can catch. And for that I am using my hand drill. You can also use a nail file and also some nail buffers if you have at home. Well, finally, let's give our fox some colors. I wrapped her hair to protect it from any paint or any Mr. Superclear. I am giving her 3 coats of her skin color and waiting 1 hour between each layer. And by the way, if you're interested, I am using the brand Vallejo together with my airbrush. After that, I gave her clothes a grey primer and finally could add some colors. When I think of a kitsune and a fox as a companion, I think of them living deep in the forest and playing tricks on wandering travelers. They also are the guardians of the forest, protecting its magic and always keeping the balance between humans and all of those mystical creatures living in these forests. Well, as you can see, I am adding literally every blue shade that I own and I can create. And the more I painted, the more her clothes reminded me of a night sky. So I had to add some stars. It looked so nice. While our paint dries out, let's start to sand our tail and give them some paint job as well. Like we have on our clothes, I needed a blue ombre effect on the tails as well. While sanding, unfortunately the middle part cracked a little bit, as you can see, but that doesn't matter, because it will be covered completely by the doll anyway, and it will not rip apart. We have a thick wire inside, so we're good. Let's not forget our fox. He needs some love too. And we're using, of course, the same colors and the same ombre effect on his tails as well. I'm also adding some shadows and highlights with some soft pastels. Well, I guess we don't have much left. Here comes the face up. So first I'm sketching out the eyes with a watercolor pencil. As always, I want a thick eyeliner, but this time I want to add a blue eyeliner on top. So I'm keeping the eyes a bit smaller than I usually go for. I'm adding some orangey reddish blush on the face and also on the whole body later on. I feel like this just made her look more alive. And after giving her a nude lip color, I'm switching to acrylic colors very fast. And I don't know if it's just me, but it's always way easier to draw the left eye when the dolls are upside down. First I gave her a white eyeliner so I can create a blue ombre effect on the eyelid as well, like she has all over her body and tail and clothes. And of course, as a fox lady, she needed some foxy marks on her face. Now she kind of reminded me of Naruto. And as you can see, I gave her the super thin cat eye pupils, but she kinda started to look scary with them, so I had to change them to human pupils again. I gave her some blue eyes and added some catch lights. I also gave her some pinkish gloss on the lips, and I painted her nose a little bit darker because she still is a half fox. And as said before, I used the same reddish blush color to blush her body, which I think always makes a huge difference. Like literally every doll looks way more alive after this. And did you think I forgot my mica powder? Never. Every girl needs some glitter. And with this, the face up is done. Okay, let's get rid of those pins and let's style her hair. I braided the front parts of her hair, and I am adding some hair accessories now, because it just looks so cool. Oh, and by the way, I painted the ears before that as well, with the matching skin color, of course. And also I'm adding this keychain, super thin one, with a hairpin inside of her hair. Oh, and let's give her an ear piercing. I went with a white pin. And I added one more accessory on her hand. I also used this to wrap my Christmas gifts. It fits her. Oh, and of course I couldn't hold myself, and I had to put one braid of the darker blue shade as well, so now I can sleep in peace. Well, everything is done. So the only thing left is to assemble all of them together. I am drilling a hole in our stand and one in our doll's butt, so I can put a wire and fix everything with some hot glue. And of course I did the same thing for the tails as well. I have to say, I'm always amazed when every part and every accessory comes together and it just creates this awesome creature. Wow, she just looks amazing. Perfect. Let's also hot glue our blue friend here, and let's add some blue decoration flowers. And I will also add some blue decoration moss on the bottom, just to make it look more comfy. A last blue flower and our amazing Kitsune, the six-tailed fox, is done. And here is a close-up. And if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, whether you're here for the repaint, the Kitsune lore, or just witness me losing my nails and hot gluing my fingers together. I hope you enjoyed my foxy girl as much as I did, and let me know what you think about her. And as always, stay magical, stay creative, and see you in my next monster creation video. Take care!